to the One Up Podcast, a place where we talk sports, movies, video games, and everything else under the sun. I am your host, El Caballo. Here with me are my co-hosts, DJ Doey, Texas one without a gun, Mateo,
Yo.
And last but not least, the bald one, the great one, Pucho.
What's going on, my brother?
Another beautiful Saturday. And if you're new to our channel, please show some love by hitting the share button, like, and subscribe. And if you're a returning gang member, thank you for continuously one-upping yourself.
Got the gang members.
What up, gang? What up, gang? What up, gang?
Pucho didn't like the other ones.
Yeah.
The returning
It sounds
members.
way better. It's the gang.
Right,
it's the one-up gang, all right?
In this episode, we are talking Secret Wars AI. Why do people with money do dumb things? And we're going to do a little roulette of our topic list in no order. Just, shotgunning things. But, Doe, I almost hit a biker a couple days ago.
Dude was on the internet.
Dude was riding his bike in the rain early in the morning. No lights in Lake Worth. If you're not in Lake Worth, sometimes some of those blocks don't have any lights or anything.
Yeah.
So I got the high beam on. I'm just driving, trying to make the turn. I look to my left, look to my right. I hit the turn to go left. And as I look to my left to hit the turn, Jit goes around my truck from the front.
Mm-hmm.
I hit the brake. Man, slaps the hood of my truck. I'm like, bro, I honk my horn. I'm like, bro, you're a dick, bro. Like, why wouldn't you not go around me? You see, I have my signal light. I look both ways. I can't see your ass. And you're in the rain riding a bike. That's the first mess up right there. Like,
I ride my bike in the rain. What's wrong with that?
but and at night where there's no visibility?
Yeah. I ride it home at 11 o'clock at night sometimes in the rain.
Then you're a dick too. Because
My favorite part of this story is how he started off by saying, I almost hit a biker. So he was riding his bike. Imagine the story was, I almost hit a biker. He was walking out of the store and I almost hit him with my car. Imagine he wasn't riding the bike.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I think
I'm
always
assuming
look twice.
you got lights on your bike, though, I'm assuming, right, Doey? Like, your bike has built-in lights because it's an electric bike and whatnot.
Yeah, at nighttime, yeah, I use my lights.
Yeah, this guy had no lights. That's even worse. Yeah. Like, first off, you're a duck for being in the rain on a bike. No reflectors.
What if that's
nothing.
his only mode of transportation? What if he's poor?
5 cents for a reflector or something. How much do reflectors cost?
I feel like I've never seen a bike you can buy without a reflector on it, honestly.
Facts. Unless it was
I've
stolen.
never seen reflectors for sale for 5 cents either.
5 cents.
5
just
cents. I
stuck
don't
on
think
the cents.
anything is 5 cents in this country anymore.
Y'all remember that the old commercial? Imagine what you could do with 50 cents when it was like the 1-800 collect commercials.
Yeah, you ain't gonna do much.
Talking about all the money you could save.
Those are good days when you could go in the store with $1 and come out with some good stuff.
Man,
no more.
So I rewatched the movie Bullet Train this week. Have y'all seen that one?
No.
It is.
Is that a recent movie?
Yeah,
That's the one with Brad Pitt? I started it. I never got to finish it. It's hard to watch kids with children in the house.
Dude, I think that might be one of my favorite action movies of like the past few years. It is just super well done. The characters are all goofy and weird. It's got like that heist feeling. What was that movie where it was like the different groups trying to pull off this heist to save this guy on this highway? It's an old movie. Crazy Spades or Aces Wild, I think might have been the name of the movie, something like that.
Aces Spades? It's where they're all hitmen. They're all contract killers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It gives me those same kind of vibes.
Tony's dream job.
Yo, this man's on the road this morning.
But yeah, man, I think that movie was slept on. I think more people need to go check it out. It's one of my favorite Brad Pitt movies currently.
It's on Netflix, right?
Damn, that's your favorite, one of your favorite Brad Pitt movies? Then you must not like none of his other movies then.
What other good movies has Brad Pitt been in? I think that Brad Pitt might be like the Ocean series.
Ocean
Brad Pitt
11?
got bangers, bro. You could go through Brad Pitt's catalog and they're almost all good.
Fight Club?
Fight Club, Mr. and Mrs.
Fight
Smith.
Club's good.
Yeah.
Mr. and
Mr.
Mrs.
Smith is
is
fire.
all right. It's
No,
all
that
right.
movie's awesome. Yeah,
Curious
it's like a
Case of
cheesy action
Benjamin
movie.
Button.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
Benjamin
cheesy.
Button is fire.
I actually never saw Benjamin Button. Is that one actually good?
Wow. And
It's
I don't watch
actually good.
movies.
It's long. It's long. No, I say you don't watch anime. All right.
No,
You're
your
trying
claim
to attack
is
Mateo with it.
nah. Your claim is also I don't watch movies either.
Well, you definitely don't watch movies. You sleep, but and you don't watch TV shows. You don't watch shit.
I'm the only person that can watch 6 movies at the same time.
No one can watch 6 movies at the same time.
No, you can't.
But no.
There's a rapper, O3 Greedo. He made a song called Brad Pitt. He says, "Bitch, I think I'm Brad Pitt."
Damn. I guess he
He
loves
wishes
Brad
he's
Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's like 60 years old, ripped, handsome, and rich. Like, that's
He looks like
everybody's
he's
dream.
still like 45 though too. Like,
He's
he
not
looks-
60. I'm exaggerating.
Oh.
but-
Booch.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
He
You
is
remember-
59. You're actually not far off.
Booch, remember on one of my birthdays, I think it was 16th or 17th, we went to the movies to go see Burn After Reading.
Yeah,
no,
bad
the-
Brad Pitt movie. I remember.
That's
Yeah.
not that one I could not get into. Some people love that movie, and I just
Do you-
could not get into it.
Do you remember what happens to Brad Pitt at the end of the movie? He
Yeah.
opens the closet door. He's like, huh? He gets shot in the head.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That movie's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
don't recommend that one. But 12 Monkeys, I love 12 Monkeys. Moneyball, Moneyball's fire.
Moneyball's fire.
I am sleeping on some of these because Inglorious Bastards, Fury,
Glorious
Oh
Bastards,
my
how
God.
could we forget?
Incredible.
Fury is so damn good.
Fury, how could we forget?
Moneyball, like
Was he
he's
in
got-
12 Years a Slave? That was a good movie too.
He is apparently. I'm
He's
looking
in
at it
12
right now.
Years a Slave.
He's going to be in Beetlejuice 2, apparently.
Weird.
He might be able to compete with Tom Cruise here.
No, he cannot. All right? If we go through Tom Cruise's list, it's banger after banger.
Oh, even
I'm
that
telling
space
you.
movie, Estrada.
I think I'm Tom
Ad
Cruise.
Astra. I haven't watched that one, but I should. Spy Game was fire. The Mexican was good. Snatch.
The
Oh, come on.
Mexican.
Are you sleeping on? Are you sleeping on?
Ad
World War
Astra-
Z is also a good one too.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
It is.
Ad,
What do you mean?
Ad Astra is a really good art house movie. So if you're into like very artsy sci-fi, it's good. Otherwise, it's gonna bore you to sleep. You're gonna fall asleep within like 30 minutes of starting watching that movie.
I think that I'm Tom Cruise.
And I just want to say, Interview with the Vampire, fire. Legends of the
Ooh.
Fall, Seven, fire. Sleepers, fire. Meet Joe Black is good. 7 Years in Tibet, fire. I mean, the man, he has bangers. All
Killing
right?
Them Softly, another fire one.
Meet Joe Black always
wasn't
makes me
into-
think of Mighty Joe Young.
Mighty Joe Young. Meet Joe Black is unnecessarily like 3 hours long.
Meeting Mighty Joe Young Black.
Meeting Mighty Joe Young.
Even
Black.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a good one.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. But Mateo doesn't like Tarantino, right?
Tarantino's all right. I did like that one. That one's good.
Oh, Tarantino's
man.
awesome.
To bring up the Death Museum again, they had a whole Charles Manson exhibit there, and they had like letters that people had written to him and like his entourage and whatnot, and they had like pictures like the Tate killing. It was a lot, man. I don't know if I would recommend going back to the Museum of Death or even going there in the first place, but it was interesting.
Oh, his worst movie, Too Young to Die.
I haven't watched it.
I don't know that
I
one.
watched that because of my uncle. Terrible. But yeah, you
know-
sleeping on your boy Pitt.
What's the name of the Tom Cruise movie where he's going to war with like these machines and then they keep going back? He keeps like
Oh wait, don't spoil it too much now. Hold
It's
on,
the ground-
you
it's like
can't
the
even
grounds-
talk about it.
like
even
the
talk about
Groundhog's
it.
Day?
But you're still talking about it. Don't talk about it
why?
because they should watch it. It's that good.
Okay,
You can
but I
edge
just
it
want to know
tomorrow.
the
Just
name.
don't even say it. Don't
My
even keep stop
God.
talking. Just stop.
Wait, the Tom
I know
Cruise
what you're
one?
talking. I'm telling you to stop, and you keep going. It's edge it
Think
tomorrow.
that I'm Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise.
Also, if you were a big fan of Japanese content, you would know that it was based on a manga.
Oh,
But
that's
a
interesting.
Oh, you're
nonsensical
talking
name. It's
about,
called All You Need Is Kill. It's the name of the manga. Fire, by the way. Fire. And then yeah, they made the
I
Tom
thought that
Cruise
was
movie.
I thought it was Brad Pitt, not Tom Cruise.
It was Tom Cruise.
Oh, it was Tom Cruise because he had that
What was the
yeah.
lady's name? Something bitch, right? Battle bitch.
I know Battle Beast, Cool World, definitely Brad Pitt's worst movie.
Yeah, that's a bad one, but I loved it as a kid. It's bad. It's bad.
That movie was written and made by someone that definitely wanted to have sex with cartoons. 100%.
Sounds like in the realm of Doughboy for sure. But no, I think that movie
The Russian chick with the red armor, her name, her call sign was Full Metal Bitch.
Dude, you talking about War of the Worlds?
She's the badass. She could slay. She's just slaying left and right. And Tom Cruise can't hold the candle to this chick. So.
Is that what movie you're talking about, though?
Apparently I can't say anything.
I said Edge of Tomorrow. I already said the name.
Oh, sorry.
What are we still stuck on for?
I didn't hear you say that.
Right. The trailer's called The Live, Die, Repeat.
Yes, that's what I thought it was named.
Well, they changed the name on it like halfway through release or something, I think, right? It was something weird.
You think that Last Samurai with Tom Cruise is good?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't
pretty good.
Out of
that
your
one.
mind?
I don't remember that one very well,
It's
so I can't say.
good. It is so good.
He gets captured and shit, and then
Yeah.
learns the
It's
way
about
of the
these piece
samurai.
of shit guys. They go to Japan to try to
Americans.
to impose their will on the Japanese. I think it's an American guy with the British, so it's really the British, and then he gets captured by the Japanese, learns their culture, learns to love their culture, and then he ends up trying to help them defeat. Yeah, it's a fire movie.
Valkyrie is another fire-ass movie.
You're talking about Dances with Wolves?
Yeah, just like almost exactly like Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, kind of like Avatar, right?
Just like Avatar. This is why these movies are good.
By the way, boys,
It's a tale as old as time, Mateo.
Yeah, the white dude comes in and saves everything.
He actually didn't save everything. That's the other good part. Tom Cruise is not a white savior in The Last Samurai, okay?
I love Paul Mooney is like, he hated that movie. He's like, I hate it so much. He's like, here, I have one for you. The Last N-Word Alive, but with Tom Hanks.
Yo, when's the last time you guys...
Also, Tom Cruise is not the last samurai. Samurai is plural. They're talking about the last group of people that lived by the way the samurai life.
Yeah.
the way of the samurai.
But everybody thinks it's a white savior movie.
What is a singular samurai called?
It's a samurai.
But
It's like a deer. A deer is singular and plural.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? It's like the...
Oh,
I don't know how it
when's the
really
last-
is in Japanese, but, you know, we're Americans. We just, you know...
When's the last time
language.
you guys freaking sold a car or vehicle of some sort?
A long time. A very long time.
I've never sold a car.
Well, I'm selling my Kia because there's no
Yo.
sense of having it here anymore. Drive the truck all the time.
I didn't even know you had a Kia. I've literally never heard you talk about anything except for your truck. I had no idea you had a Kia.
And it's really easy to sell your vehicle. I don't know if it was a hard thing to do back in the days, but Carvana and CarMax or whatever, like couple clicks on the internet and boom, you sell your car. So
They just show up, tow it off, done.
well, Carvana will come and pick it up and give you a check or whatever. And then if you owe money on your vehicle, supposedly they would pay that off but deduct it from what they're going to give you. Makes sense.
I thought Carvana was not doing well. They were like a pandemic company.
Yeah, they're still in business. They might be thriving right now. I don't know because they're giving out money.
Yeah, because it's a seller's market right now.
Yeah.
MSRP cars are going way over MSRP, like by $10,000-$20,000. There's a shortage because not really a shortage, but all that stuff in Taiwan with the chips. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's serious. The other
Superconductors.
day, I took my car in just to get an oil change, and they were talking about, we'll give you 22 G's right now. Just give us this car.
Damn.
And I'm like,
What?
should I? Like, you know? But then I'd have to buy a car, and then I'd be like in a screwed situation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like
How
my
old-
car is worth like, my car brand new is like $28,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this car got in a nasty car accident, and it's 5 years old. So it's like it is not worth no $24,000.
I would say you should do that. You should
That
get a
sounds like it
22 and
could
get
be
a new
worth it.
one. Yeah, you put
I
4 or
saw-
5 bands into it. brand new of the year vehicle.
Yeah, or I could just not pay car payments. It's sort of where I'm at. Is like
I feel that. I was just talking with a buddy the other day. I think my next car will be an electric vehicle, or
Nice.
It's probably better
that-
hybrid.
The new Prius is sick. That 2020
Oh
that
my
new
God.
Prius is
Yeah.
sick. No, seriously, dude, go look at it. Like
It's cool.
The styling on it, it looks pretty sick.
It has a solar panel moonroof. It doesn't charge that great, but like let's say you left your car out charging for like maybe you left for like a week, you can get up to 40 miles of like travel time. It's a pretty good car.
I'm too big for that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know actually. I've got a boss that he's like 6'3", and he fits in there. He's not a big he's a tall guy. He's not like a big guy, so that might be the factor.
$27,450 starting MSRP.
I feel like hybrids are the way to go. If
I'm
you
telling you,
ask
dude.
me.
Those Priuses the new Prius looks sick.
I don't know, man. If you're gonna go electric, go full electric. Why?
I
Pump
don't
the
think
hybrid.
if you're not in a Tesla, you're not getting good range. You want more than 200 miles per charge,
The truck,
and
Lightning,
a lot
the
of
Ford
peop-
Lightning, the BMW electric car is crazy.
The i3 or whatever.
Yeah, the I think Mazda or one of those other ones has an
Yeah.
electric
If
car
you
that's
look-
also really good.
if you look at the range, though, how far they can go between charges is a little disappointing.
Toyota. Teslas aren't even the best though.
They
Like,
used to be the
there's-
best.
Yeah, there's a lot of competitors in the market now.
Yeah.
Honestly,
They have the
Volkswagen
best
has
charge.
the
They're
best-
just too. These cars are just too expensive. Is my
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, Volkswagen has the best range, 275
Yeah, but-
miles.
Have you seen the charging
No.
ports too? You
That's
want
what it
to-
says here.
Tesla
Tesla
has
has
405.
On a solely it says right here 23
A 2023 Model S gets 405 miles.
Oh no, they're saying no, my bad. This is a hybrid thing.
The
Never mind.
best car is some California company, Lucid Motors, like a brand.
Yeah,
Lucid Air.
They get 560 miles. Toyota just came out with a new battery. I want to find the number, but it's like 2,000 miles on a max charge. It's like
Wow.
absurd.
No way.
wow.
And they're saying it's not going to be on a car for like at least like 3 or 4 years, but
I mean,
it's a
that's fair.
battery that they just developed, and it's another technology that they're using, like the brakes in the car and the tires as they're spinning to recharge the battery as it goes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. My
So
bike-
maybe
my
it'll
bike
have
does that.
less mileage if you're just like running it idle, but
my bike, when I go over 29 miles an hour, the regenerative turns on the motor. It's pretty cool.
If he hits 88 and turns on that flux capacitor, though,
Yeah, and I'll go back to the future.
Flux capacitor.
Go have a date
yeah,
with
this
my
is-
mom.
This is crazy.
that's a weird movie. There's a weird,
Right?
that's a
Like,
real
I'm like-
weird movie.
Yeah,
He just threw me off with that one.
Scarface wanted to have sex with his sister. This guy low key made out with his mom, right? His mom made out with him in that.
I
Back
think
to
his
the
mom
Future,
did
right?
try to kiss him. Like,
Wait, what?
talk about Back to the
Incest.
Future.
Oh, and back to wait a minute, relax. That's very different. He met a chick that was DTF, okay? The chick happened to be his mom in the past. That ain't his mom trying to kiss him. That's a very different situation.
This man does the worst, bro. Man
I'm just
painted the
saying.
picture.
It's like I'm picturing like somebody's mom walked in and was like, "Hey, honey,
Yeah.
let's
right.
kiss." You know, it's not. It just happened to be his mom, but they're in a different time. She doesn't know. She's not even his mom yet. you
He
know?
knows. That's
He knows,
just-
and that's why
he's-
he wasn't down. He was
Yeah,
smart.
he shut her down every time. To be
And
fair,
he's like,
he
I need to go find my dad and I need to hook them up. All right. I need to get the hell out of this.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This Tesla Model 3 long range, all-wheel drive, 50,000 for 358 miles is not bad.
It's
price-wise.
good. That's a good range. I say
$50,000.
Yeah. You pay more for a regular fuel car, any car
No.
right now. Yeah.
No.
What do you mean no?
You're high off your ass, Tony. The only cars that are that are 50,000 and higher are like the top of the line SUVs
Luxury
and
cars.
like then like luxury, and we're talking luxury cars. Like, no, this is not a normal thing. Cars that are $50,000. You're crazy. Have you ever
Yeah.
bought a new car?
No.
All right, well, that's probably. He's gonna go to the website and put all the fixings on the car.
Yeah, facts. Big facts. I always
Like,
do
give me
that
the
shit
most
too.
expensive
I
color
want
you got.
leather,
Yeah.
baby. I want leather.
Yeah.
No, they're saying the average price in Florida is $34,000
Yeah,
for a car.
that seems about right.
Yeah, and we have an absurd number of truck drivers.
The average car price at all times.
And oh yeah, pickup trucks are crazy too. Pickup
Crazy
trucks will get you
expensive.
like $50,000.
crazy
I
expensive.
would like. I like the idea of a pickup truck, but
You should try to get that Ford Lightning. That's a.
I
hell
just
of a
don't think
truck.
electric is there yet. The mileage is still not
Same.
the
Same.
best, and the availability of charging stuff is not. Oh yeah, I didn't even sorry. The Toyota battery is 1,500 kilometers, just 900 miles, and it charges in like 3 minutes. That's
No
that's the
fucking
crazy
way.
thing. Yeah,
Crazy.
so
No
you can pull up
way.
to a spot and just like watch a YouTube video on your phone and then take off. That was the crazy part about it.
Because it takes Teslas like 20 minutes to do a full charge almost.
Right. That's my problem. It's like, who the hell wants to, like, granted, most of the time,
Charge it at your
you
house.
could plug up at your house. So it's not the end of the world. And I don't even be driving that much. I'm kind of the target audience for this electric stuff. But I don't even like using my garage. I got a treadmill in there, you know, which I used this morning.
No,
ladies
that
and
thing
gentlemen.
can, you can plug it out from the outside. It doesn't have to be inside of your house. I think they have it to where you can hook up a cable, like hook it up from the outside.
I'm on that condo living. I don't know. I don't have a garage. I wonder what I would do with an electric vehicle. I would have to like go plug it up at work or something.
Oh, your
You'd
job
have
has a
to-
charging station?
My house does not have a charging
No, your,
station.
your work, your job.
Yeah, in the parking garage they've got like 3 or 4 like charging slots basically.
That's
Fire.
fire.
I don't know if they charge or not. I don't know if they charge you money to charge or not.
They shouldn't.
Never looked into it.
If they do, they're dicks.
For me, the smartest thing is like a hybrid car where you could use electric at a certain speed, but then once you go over a certain speed, you're using gas and stuff like that. I think that would be the best.
No way.
I would go full electric if I could, honestly. Road trips, I would just rent a car or something, right? Like
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's funny? Well, if you plug in in the Teslas, if you're going on a road trip, it would calculate the amount of miles you have before you have to recharge, and it'll tell you, hey, stop here, you can continue on. Stop there, you can continue on. And I think that's fire. You know how long you need to go, and you need to stop. This is when you need to stop. And also, it matters to full blast AC if you're hauling ass. All these go into the charging. But that Toyota shit you talking about, Pooch? That seems
Like
like
I said, not going to be in a car for the
No, I get it.
Maybe I ride this car till the wheels fall off until that ends up in like a Toyota SUV, and then I could grab that.
that's what I've been saying, dude. I'm in my car till the wheels fall off. My car just got beamed by all the hail last weekend too, so I've got some nice little dings in my hood and the top of my car. now.
Yo,
Yeah, that
Texas is
storm
weird,
that
bro.
came through, man, that knocked out my power. We had hail the size of golf balls falling out of the sky.
Sheesh.
It's summer, bro. That's crazy. Anyways,
It'll be 108 degrees on Tuesday too.
people, for our first topic, Secret Wars AI intro in the new Marvel movie or show, should I say? Sorry, Invasion. Has anybody? We all here watched it this morning. It looked phenomenal. I don't know why people hate it, but
You really think Samuel L. Jackson looked phenomenal in that
overall,
little?
you're
AI
picking one
Samuel
thing. That thing looked weird to me, yeah, but
Shit looked
overall,
terrible.
overall it looked fantastic. I think
I thought the animation looked cool. I think Samuel Jackson, when they put his face close up, he had some weird lips. He looked like he almost had a face coming out of one of his cheeks, and then obviously he had whoever the hell that other alien dude in his eye, whatever. But I thought overall it looked cool. I don't know.
I'm curious, like how much of that AI intro was a purely creative decision, and how much of it was a cost saving decision. Because like from the creative side, I get it. Like it's a show about everyone can be a scroll. You don't know what's real and what's fake. So using AI that kind of blurs the lines between real and computer generated and deception and blah blah blah. It makes sense. I can see the creative decision behind it. I think the intro kind of works for the premise of the show. But also how much of that was made is just a pure like, we don't want to spend any money on animators to make this intro for us. Let's just have AI generate it for us.
I think that maybe they just didn't have a good intro. Maybe they couldn't come up with something. And hey, let's just try the AI and plug in what you want. I need opera music background. Green aliens, the world, Samuel L. Jackson look ugly, and it just like made this like I could, but I mean I could also understand how could be something new now that everybody else will start doing and liking, and then now these people are out of jobs and whatever. But this has always been the wave. Something new happens.
I don't fully understand the. Sorry, to answer your question, I think it was purely a budget thing. I think they were like, which is always the job of
producers
anybody
and director,
trying to make money, right? It's what's the best product that we could deliver that could make us the most money, right? It's some balance between hitting the date you want to hit, spending the amount of money you want to spend, and what quality. Those are the three things you always got to balance when you're trying to like deliver some product. If you want the best thing ever, you're probably going to be late. If you want the good results fast, you got to spend more money. And so it's like, right, those are the things you always got to balance. So it's just, to me, this whole AI thing is just another tool. Like I already use this shit at work. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of programmers are using AI. They're like, I gotta write this stupid SQL query. It's like, all right, yeah, write me a SQL query that does blah 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 blah. And then it comes up with something that maybe is 85% right, but now I just gotta tweak a couple things and then I'm good to go. Like my wife, she does like
so what's the point of you working there then?
What's up?
What would be the point of you working there if the AI is doing 85% of the... Wouldn't your managers be like, well, what's the point of having 60 of y'all here? We can cut y'all all in half and have chat or have the AI do half your work and then have 2 or 3 people just fix it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility.
That's a conversation that's going on right now.
Right,
like
that's the conversation with like I forget what the voice actors union or group is. That's the conversation they're having. They're starting to make demands. Like, at least I know for sure, like in the gaming space, I don't know if that's the case for like animation and stuff, but they're trying to make demands. Like, if y'all start using AI voiceovers, like we're going to strike, and they're doing all those types of things. I kind of don't understand that perspective well, I understand it. They want to stay relevant, right? That makes sense to me. But it's like, imagine the horse union where like, we don't like these cars. Like we need to make sure that we're still using horses. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like on one end, like I get where you're coming from. On the other end, like this is just like technological progress. And we as a society need to come up with ways to not leave people behind. But we can't just halt technological progress because, you know, the guy who made a business out of breeding horses is now not going to be able to do it because everybody's driving cars. Like, I don't know. I feel like you got to figure out how to balance those things, man.
It's art, so the conversation shifts a little bit, right? Like it's not like a pure technology thing. It's also art, the creative space. Technology, I think, has been slow to infiltrate the creative space in the same kind of like automation way that other jobs have been infiltrated. So it is interesting to see the conversation kind of like taking place in that particular space. Is art that's created by we talked about this same kind of thing. Is art that's created by program, is it still art? Do you hold human created art at a higher level than AI created art? I think that I do. I can't quite explain why, but I think that I do.
Because you're saying that a human would have feelings or emotions built into their project. So that way it could probably connect to you a little bit deeper versus an AI who would just paint and you'd be like...
But if you did like a Pepsi challenge, like let's say AI gets to the point where you can't tell the difference. Picasso generated, like an actual Picasso painting and a Picasso generated painting or something, right? Let's say it gets to that point. If you did the Pepsi challenge and you were shown two pieces of art and one was AI and one was Picasso, and they were completely, they looked exactly the same as far as the style and everything, would you hold one in lesser regard? Like, if you felt emotion from the AI one, is there something wrong with you because you're feeling emotion from something that did not have emotion put into it? I don't know.
And I think that would take an art expert or someone who went to college and, you know, got a degree and all this, because us regular Joes who don't have an hour in arts would be like, yeah, they both look the exact same. Like, maybe somebody with experience and knowledge might be able to tell the difference. Because I guess...
Yeah, but we're saying, let's say they are completely identical. Like, there is no difference.
Then you can't use the statement that Mateo said.
Well, he's asking is one lesser than the other. I personally still feel I'm of two minds, right, as usual. Because, like, when you say a human can put emotion and blah, blah, I feel like an AI can, too. All an AI is doing is learning from us. So they learn all the negative feelings that we might have, and they learn all those types of things. And, like, it is an artificial intelligence. Like, it's only artificial in the sense that it's not human, but it's not any less of a thing. I don't know. Like... I don't know. That part's weird to me. But then it's also like, I don't know. I tend to like handmade things. Like I appreciate craftsmanship. So like if I see like, oh, here's a ship that was built all with these like, automated things, like an assembly line type of thing, it's like I'll have 1 degree of like, appreciation for it. But if I see like some man carved all the wood and put the ship together, I will hold that ship in a higher regard, even if it's an inferior product. Like I would look at it as like a greater achievement. You know what I mean?
And I think that's
I don't know. I think I would tend to think that I would value human art over AI art still, but I can't really pinpoint why.
And I would say that's different too. Like, there's levels to art, right? Painting, I'll put it in one subpart level versus somebody in like wood shop who does a whole thing out of wood. That's way harder than I think than someone who's painting. And that could be bugging. This could be a hot take. I don't know.
That's an interesting take, actually.
No, because with wood, there ain't no like you got to be fine with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're chipping away at a solid block and you're I don't know. I just think there's more work and more critique involved with wood carvings than paint. I mean, I could be bugging, but that's how I feel.
As a not a painter or not a wood carver, I don't have the expertise to say one is harder than the other. I would tend to agree with you though that like when I look at like those Michelangelo like stone sculptures, to me I think that is far more incredible than a painting, but I don't actually know which one is more difficult to do. You know what I mean?
Those things are mind breaking as far as how they were able to get that level of detail and that level of uniformity throughout like those things. Like, I don't understand. I don't know how you get that skill, especially, several hundred years back with the tools they had available. It is wild.
It's a
there's
talent,
like
for
those
sure.
sculptures where you see like a blanket draped over someone's legs and you're like, the detail's insane. Or like the statue of David where you could literally see his veins bulging out of his skin. And I don't know, that just seems like it's too much. I don't know. When I look at it, I'm like, if you were to paint this, it would look like a human was standing there. If you could paint it to however skin looks.
I guarantee you those painters can do that. Like if someone said, hey, I'm going to do this sculpture and I want you to paint it, you put them two together, that thing is going to look amazing. Like, than it alone, but still.
Dude, I've been so to de-stress a little bit, I've been painting minis again, like little like plastic minis for like board games and things like that.
Cool.
And some of the people that can paint those things are incredibly skilled. My skill level is nowhere near that level. So like I believe it. Like people like on a large scale item like that in particular, like people could make that shit look as realistic as they wanted to.
Have you seen that guy on? I used to follow him on Facebook, but he used to do clay sculptures of like anime characters or video game characters. Bro, that to me seems so dope. It took time, obviously, to do, but like I wish I had the skills to be able to do that. And the patience level is crazy too. But
Yeah, there's a guy who does rap videos now for rappers, and he'll do like claymation versions of like their rap video, which is cool. Yeah,
That's sick. I like that. To bring it back around though, like even like outside of like the Marvel intro, right? Like we are seeing like AI used in video game development, things like that, right? Like what is procedural generation if not some form of AI that's being taught and trained on things and told, okay, now make this happen for this entire open area or whatever, right?
yeah.
Am I misunderstanding the ways that some of that works, Pooch? I know you have a little bit more idea of like game development than I do.
Sorry, what was the question? I was completely distracted.
Like the use of AI in gaming. Like I know they started using some AI training models for like procedural generation of levels and environments and things like that, right? Like they're not going and handcrafting each blade of grass by hand anymore, right? Like that's just like some kind of like procedural generation, AI generation that's doing that now, right?
Yeah, like I don't know about AI, but for sure a lot of the gaming content we play is like procedurally generated. Like there's zero way that someone went through and handcrafted every piece of terrain in like Breath of the Wild. Like someone went procedurally generated maybe chunks of areas with certain like input parameters, like, oh, this is going to be like a mountainous region, this is going to have more rivers, and they kind of generated all these chunks. And then someone went through and kind of blended it, and kind of maybe other areas they were just like, we're going to handcraft this because there's just so much detail we want to add here. But yeah, like trees, blades of grass, like all those types of things are like, yeah, they're procedurally generated. But for the stuff I'm familiar with, there's zero AI involved. It's just like a logic tree of, oh, do this, do that, math, probabilities, randomness, things like that. But.
Gotcha. Okay, I was watching like what was it, the Unreal 5 demo they did where they were showing like the new environmental generation. I didn't know if there was some AI that was into that or not.
I mean, if it's new, it's possible. I mean, AI is the fad now, so like it's getting added everywhere. Like for example, my wife, I was trying to mention, and I still want to answer your question fully, Tony. But my wife, she does like graphic design stuff. Oftentimes they need to like take pictures in order to get the right photography to then do design over, right? Like, oh, a picture of a field or this. Like a lot of her job is like finding stock photography, but then sometimes there's just not the right picture, so you got to do like photo shoots and things like that. Now with Photoshop, the beta version of Photoshop came out. It has an AI built into it now. You could take a stock photo of me and Tony kind of like hugging or whatever, and it'll be a picture like this small. And it could generate this entire box. It'll just fill it in with stuff. You could say, oh, me and Tony are in a field and blah, blah, blah. Blend the background, do whatever. And it'll just start generating all types of stuff. And it's not perfect, but it'll get someone 90% of the way there. My wife is like, oh, I'm going to do it, generate this big picture, and now I just need to touch up a few spots. And sometimes I don't need to touch it up because I'm going to throw words on top of it. I'm going to throw logos on top of it, and nobody's even going to see the imperfections.
That's interesting.
Question to that, Pooch. Could you, or to the guys too, could you say that's your work? Like, you know how I guess some artists, they'll put their name at the bottom. Is it going to be Lisi and AI made this, or is it, do you give any credit to AI at all?
No, that's Lisi's work. The next big career or the next skill that is going to be developed is the skill to prompt the AI. You only get what you get out of AI is what you put in. If you give it like 17 paragraphs of a description of what you want, it'll give you the most detailed thing. If you give it give me a picture of Mario, blah, blah, it's going to do just some random shit, or just like, almost like a deal with the devil. You know how you have to like, you say, I want to be a millionaire. And it's like, cool, they make you a millionaire, but you now got a micro penis. You're like, fuck, I didn't know I had to specify the penis size. Like, that's kind of how AI works. It's like, when you ask for a thing, it'll give you what you asked for, maybe not in the way you wanted it. And so the more details you put into it, the more you're going to get whatever you're envisioning. So I think the next skill is not just like, everybody's like, oh, go into STEM. The engineer is like the next thing. It'll never get replaced. AI is replacing coding one day. It's a fact. So the next skill is going to be like, who can provide the best prompts to AI? Who could get the best content out of AI? And so, yeah, if you could say words that gets something incredible out of it, I think you created that. Like,
yeah, I know that I know there's a lot of people smarter than me having the conversation regarding, in particular, like AI art. Like, the models that you train it on is what determines what quality of stuff you get, right? And there's a lot of conversations there about like, if someone's training an AI on your work specifically, and then they use it to make paintings or art in your style, is that theft or not? And
right,
that's,
and not to
that's
pivot
complicated.
not to pivot the conversation too crazy. I don't know if anybody has seen like the recent like policy changes at Reddit and all the backlash. I don't know if you saw like a bunch of subreddits went black and and Reddit not fired. They like took away a bunch of moderators. They did a whole bunch of things. It's because of AI ultimately. Basically, think Bard, ChatGPT, all these AIs. They just trained off of using the Reddit API and just jacking all this like user content, and that's how they train their it's not the only way, but it's one of the most like centralized places where you could see a lot of human interaction, and there's an API to get all that data from it. And it was just free. There was no cost to it. And now Reddit's like, well, fuck, like now all these things exist off the backs of our website and we made $0 off of it. Now they're charging money to access that API. So it's like, it's literally happening right now. People are like, Reddit feels like they got screwed over, and now they're going to make certain things to make certain moves to kind of make sure they don't get screwed in the future. But now a lot of users feel screwed. There's a whole
because they're also screwing over their moderators, because now the unpaid moderators who basically make Reddit a place that's not 4chan, they want them to pay for API access to be able to use tools to make it easier to mod. It's a whole complicated thing. I actually I don't really subscribe to a lot of conspiracy theories, but I have heard one regarding these the trends you see on like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and things like that, like post a picture of you today and post a picture of you from 10 years ago, post a picture of you looking good in a hat, and blah blah blah. There's some people that believe that those are cleverly created by AI researchers and AI people, AI evangelists, basically, that are using those to get an easy way to train AI art models on people wearing hats, people that are in their 20s, people that are in their 40s. Like, they're using it to train them. I don't know if I've seen any proof of that, but I think it's an interesting theory, at least, as far as why we're seeing so many of those trends now.
I know for a fact that type of content is going to get used. There's no way that it can't. Like, there's just not a big collection of pictures that depict how humans age. And so if you could get 40,000 users on a website to post a picture when they were 10, when they were 20, and when they're 40, like, that's invaluable information for anybody that's trying to figure out like this is just something that could have never existed in the past, really. Like, like there was no place to share pictures. People probably wouldn't have taken that many pictures like we take today. It's, so yeah, there'd be no reason not to use this stuff. Well, sorry. I'm not saying I know for a fact that it's a conspiracy in the sense that it's researchers
actually doing
this.
Yeah.
I know researchers are using this.
Yeah,
like,
that's
users are creating these trends or not, researchers are using it. Whether researchers are creating it, I could see that being the case. But.
I think for me, I think using it as a tool is like gonna be the way that it gets used. But the way I think about it is like, you ever listen to music or you ever watch a show or you ever see a piece of art that like makes your hair on the back of your neck stand up, or it gives you like that insane euphoric feeling of like, whoa, this is just so incredible. I don't know if AI is going to be able to do that personally. I think that's like a brain thing. I don't know.
It's the same
For
thing
me.
as the Pepsi challenge, right? If you're blindfolded and all you're doing is listening, and you play 2 songs back to back, AI and human, that does that euphoric thing for you, you're not gonna know the difference.
But do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, you've ever heard that piece of music and you were just like, whoa, what the fuck?
Mhm.
I don't know.
And I think what Tony's saying is like, if you know that an AI created it, maybe you wouldn't get that feeling because you have all these internal biases that probably won't allow you to feel that feeling. But if you didn't know, it's possible that they could create music that could touch you like that, you know?
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but well, I was very surprised when I heard the AI Lil Uzi Vert, and like all the AI. I was a little impressed by that.
I didn't know he did an AI Uzi
We talked about it on the podcast.
that they created solely for that, or is just one of the songs?
They created the music. They're doing AI music, and basically what they do is they take an AI model, they feed it a bunch of one artist.
Oh yeah,
And
that,
then-
yeah. Did the Drake thing too like that? Yeah.
The
We did
Drake-
that.
Not that he actually made like an AI song or anything himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was saying. Like, but yeah, no. Secret Wars though. Do you think Marvel's gonna just continue to use the AI thing, seeing how? I mean, they
Yes.
did get a lot. Yeah, yes,
They're-
but
They're a company that wants to make money. They're going to keep pushing it as much as they can. We're going to see a fully generated AI movie at some point.
I mean, it'd be cool for them for shit like that you don't care too much about, like credits at the end. Let the fucking AI do whatever the fuck it wants. You know what I mean? Like, the movie's over.
I don't know. Some of those Marvel movies, the credit scenes that come up after are like pretty big
Yeah, the
spoilers.
Black Panther credits was incredible.
Yeah,
The song, the visuals, but regardless, I don't know. It just, I just have a hard time getting on board with that. Like, imagine Big Screwdriver was just like, we can't use these drills. These drills are gonna put the screwdrivers out of business. You know what I mean? It just feels like we have a new tool at our disposal. We should probably use it. Like,
Maybe there's just some new royalties they need to think about. Like, you have to disclose what you use to train your AI on and pay the creators appropriately, because AI only works if people are still creating art. Like, AI only works if people are still creating art. Until we get to a point that you can just feed AI their own creations and use that to train the models, which I don't think we're there yet, because there's still that uncanny valley, even with the best AI. Maybe they just need to figure out a new way to like actually properly pay these people.
Wouldn't things just stagnate if it was just that? Because like, think about how people are like pushing the boundaries in art and pushing the boundaries. There's so many different graffiti styles that were created. It's just like, I think the human element in it, I feel like robots would just create the same thing and not do anything new.
nah, there's evolutionary models that basically take what they know and try to iterate into new things. That's a whole branch of AI too. Is like the evolution thing, where it's just like you train AI very little. You only tell it what outcomes you want, and you let it figure out how to get there. And any AI that does it a way that you like, you say, okay, cool. Now spawn like a bunch of children, and now we're gonna see what your children do, and it passes on like traits and blah. That's a whole branch of artificial intelligence, and it's old. I did this in college, so like,
yeah. There's a video series that I watched where it's like this guy, like he does that kind of like evolutionary AI stuff, and one of the ones that I watched was teaching an AI to box. And all he had was this like physics simulator with a boxing ring, and all that the AI was just told that the goal is to get the opponent's back to touch the ground or something like that, right? So then it's just him like fast forwarding through all these iterations, where it's just the AI trying to figure out the best way to get the opponent's back to touch the ground. So it's teaching itself boxing. So the boxing style that it creates is just not one that actually exists, but it's the most efficient way it was able to solve that problem. and get that goal.
And there's still a human element, right? The human element is you're setting the criteria of what is good and what is bad. And you've set up some mathematical calculations that say, oh, the way that you got the guy's back to touch the ground is not as good as the way this guy. So we're going to let all those people die off, or all those AIs, I should say. And we're going to now use this group of people to spawn more generations or whatever. And that plays out. There's YouTube videos you could watch an AI learn how to beat Super Mario. Not right. And you could see like how it keeps falling into the pit until one guy decides, oh, I'm going to jump. And they're like, oh, that's the guy we're going to latch onto. Now everybody's jumping, but no one's jumping far enough. All right, we got one guy that jumped far enough. That's the guy that, and then now, okay, but he keeps getting killed by the Goomba. And that kind of keeps playing out until somebody learns how to beat a level. You know what I mean?
It's just like the movie Edge of Tomorrow, actually, if you think about it, in that...
Yep, or Groundhog Day, you know. But don't talk about it, people.
Can't talk about it.
The movie's not that great, but it's good.
But nah, I definitely it's AI is gonna always be here. It's not going nowhere, like Pucho said, and how they're gonna balance jobs and keeping people going forward with it. I don't think they're gonna care too much about that, to be honest, Pooch. Like, I wanted to tell you that beforehand, but...
Sorry, that what?
I don't,
they're not going to care about what?
They're not going to care about bringing the people with them and, like, advancing with technology. I think what's going to happen, they're going to slowly just keep...
I think there's jobs
but that's
that are
like
just
what
never...
governments are for. Like,
yeah.
That's not for a company. A company's just going to use the best tools available to them. Is not their business.
Yeah, I'm talking about the government. Whoever
Dowie doesn't get to do doesn't get to stomp his feet on the grapes anymore. Now they got machines to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not their business. That's Congress's business to try to figure out what we should do. There was a documentary, little video. It's like 15 minutes long. Everybody should watch it. It came out like 10 years ago now. It's called Humans Need Not Apply. And it is just about how automation, not even AI, they touch AI towards the end, but how automation is going to take over society, right? Little by little, there's so many jobs that are just going to be gone because a robot could do that thing. Right? It's been happening for years, right? Like the assembly line took away a lot of craftsmanship. Then you got you watch how it's made, boom, 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 all this crazy shit happening. A lot of humans don't need to be involved in the process. Like, those are jobs that are being taken away. And then, you know, and then even towards the end, they talk about how people say arts and stuff like that may be the future. But look, here's this AI music. Here are AI, you know, and they're talking about this 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like as a society, we need to come up with some type of universal basic income, as ridiculously progressive as that may be. The alternative is at some point you're going to have a mass group of people that have no jobs.
They're going to just ask AI, hey, what do we do with the people who can't do that job anymore? The AI will tell you, eliminate.
I mean, like, look, the number one job in the country are drivers. I think like 30% of America employed people drive for a living. And it's like, we have the capabilities, like Tesla has the capabilities to drive on its own. Once they start implementing that on a mass scale, you're talking 30% of the American workforce is out of a job. That just sounds nuts. You know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to do?
I heard they are not using the best technology though, Tesla. They're using not enough laser and LiDAR technology though.
Sure, I'm just saying that I'm using a household name. Everybody knows Tesla. Everybody knows that it has self-driving capabilities. I'm just saying this exists. My wife's car doesn't have any self-driving capabilities, really. If you try to swerve out of the lane, it'll pull you back into the lane, her car. Like, her car is a 2017, like, you know, 6 years old. Technology is getting better. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But,
I don't know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the next topic, has to deal with rich people and why rich people always find a way to either get themselves killed or like getting close to getting killed. Like, if you got so much money, why put yourself in dangerous situations?
What an intro.
Oh, you don't like it?
I love it. I loved it. It just is so jolly and like it's All right, before we get to the serious part, how come rich people be dying these wild Looney Tune ass deaths,
To
bro?
answer the
They
topic.
really be falling off of cliffs like Wile E. Coyote. They really be like it's
Well, I can tell you part of it because I looked up the so apparently the one of the guys that perished, I think it might have been the CEO founder dude. He was a member of something called the Explorers Club, and I looked it up, and you can apply to the Explorers Club. And I don't know, it just seems like spending money just to say you're cool. Like there's annual dues, and it's this exclusive club. You have to apply to it and have sponsorship to get into this Explorers Club. You have to prove that you've done expeditions of scientific importance, but really it's just having the money to be able to fund these expeditions and go along as like the money guy, basically. Like it's interesting. It's its own little culture there.
It's just, I got so much money, I'm bored. Let's try to die today. Let's is that the idea? Like, if I have so much money, I am not gonna be skydiving for fun. I'm not gonna be doing some of these crazy ass things. Like,
have y'all ever seen the grandpa that goes into the tiger's cage and the tiger's like, ooh, a snack, and then like fucking drags the grandfather off and everybody's like, oh my God. And it's just like, yeah, dude, you fucking are an old man. Why the fuck did you hop into a tiger's den? I don't get it personally. I think there's something there with skirting the line of death, and maybe there's some sort of high that you get from doing that, because I know that, you know, riding my bike really fast, I get like an exciting
Adrenaline
feeling
rush.
from that. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if there's something like that attached to it, but for me, it's wild. Like
There's certain rich people things that are just like dangerous, just part of it, right? Like you buy like supercars are for rich people. Supercars drive ridiculously fast. They accelerate so fast that you never need that. You should almost never need that in your life.
but it's cool and it's badass and it's a swinging dick contest. Like everybody's just like, I did this, and it's just a one up. Rich people are the ultimate one ups. They want to one up each other to the limit. Like, I went to go see the Titanic. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go, and then like that's what happened with these people. Everybody's making fun of them and stuff. It's just like rich people just do these things where it's just, man, I get it. You got the money to do it, but
would any of you guys climb Mount Everest?
No.
I don't think
I
so.
don't.
I would fly to the
I've-
top and take a picture.
I've
Some other shit.
never had an interest in climbing. Like I would rock climb at like a gym or something, but that's about my level of interest of climbing. I don't want to die falling off a cliff.
Rock
About
climbing?
1 in 100 people that make attempts to climb Mount Everest die.
Yeah,
I'm good.
and then your body gets left on the mountain. It's not like they bring you down.
Here, let me put it in a way that where like it feels like it's an easier decision. Let's say that this restaurant you wanted to go to was amazing, but one person out of every 100 people that eats there dies.
Oh, that's
Are you gonna go to that restaurant? Probably not, right?
Depends on what's on the menu. Like if they have mango with salami and cebollas and it was just sitting there, and I was just maybe I might.
That's insane.
This is worth dying for.
It has to be some type of medical condition at this point. Once you hit so much money, like it's like, okay, this guy might have some type of, like his brain just switched off to another world where it's like, I just want to try everything crazy. Because, bro, there was a rich person that died for what was he doing? What's the wingsuit? He was freaking like free falling or whatever, going close as hell to the edge of mountains and all this, and lo and behold, he hit a tree and died. Snapped his neck and broke his spine and all types of shit. It's just like bro, you got money. Like, what are we doing here?
So like I do get extreme sports, and then I don't get them. Like I think rock climbing sounds cool. Rock climbing with no gear. Like I'm like, yo, these people just want death. Like they want that feeling of I'm almost gonna lose my life is like very important. I don't know why.
I don't
Do
know.
y'all think it's funny that James Cameron came out after all of this shit ended and said, I knew that shit wasn't safe. These guys had no idea what the fuck they were doing. I was
I
like,
mean,
wow.
he made that crazy thing. He went to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Like he knows how to build a submersible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, if anyone knows how to get to the Titanic, it is James Cameron. Like, the man's kind of made himself into an expert in that field.
Yeah. So just to back up to the question itself, I think rich people could do anything they want, and I think they do. And at some point, all the things that we as normal people find thrilling, to them is just regular shit. So the only way they could get thrilling experiences is to do things that we think are dumb, like absurdly dangerous things, you know? Like some Japanese billionaire bought every single seat on the maiden voyage of SpaceX's the first rocket that's going to take like just regular people, like not space people, like tourists to outer space. It's going to circle the moon for like 3 days or some shit like that. And then it's going to come back. So like people are going to start doing that. If anybody's watched For All Mankind, which you lame ass motherfuckers haven't, and I have, when they did the space tourism thing, horrible things happen. Horrible things happen in space all the time. That's gonna be the new thing. A bunch of people, space tourists, go out and they're gonna die in some horrific way, and everybody's gonna go, "Damn."
Ain't no rescuing them motherfuckers. I'll tell you that.
This is on Apple TV only.
It's so good. How do you not have Apple TV? They got nothing but bangers.
I think I'm supposed to have Apple TV. I have so many Apple devices, and they always offer like 1 year free of Apple TV, and I never actually like redeem it.
You can buy anything from Apple, and then they'll give you a subscription to something for free, like, which is also not bad. Apple's a genius, by the way, by doing stuff like that.
No, I think it is. I think that the sub thing is interesting. There's a lot of people that are like pearl clutching right now, and they're like, "How dare you make fun of people that are dying?" Blah blah blah. I'm of two minds. I think it can be sad. I think it can be a tragedy. I feel bad for being stuck under the ocean like that or dying in the ocean. It combines so many things that are fears of mine. The ocean is terrifying. I'm claustrophobic. I don't want to be in a tiny enclosed space with a
fucking shitty Logitech fucking computer controller. I don't know, all of that shit was just making me nervous.
Like it can be sad and terrifying, and it can also be kind of darkly funny that people that are rich and have the ability to spend money on stupid nonsense paid money, real American dollars, to go and die under the ocean and become like a footnote in history, basically.
Yeah, I agree. Two minds for sure. One, it's sad. Two, it's fucking hilarious. The memes, like you got like there was memes of the DK, a whole bunch of chicks in little submachine like submarines with helmets going down to the bottom to look for the wallets floating up. I think that shit was crazy. Then it started getting dark. People started putting George Floyd's face on the submarine. I can't breathe type thing.
Oh, that's kind of fucked up.
No, that's you. That's your hemisphere. That's your circle.
And then it was on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. It was on all three social medias, bro. It's ridiculous.
Shit wasn't on my
I didn't
feed.
see that shit at all, bro.
And then there was then they put another one of the cop who killed George on top of the submarine. I was like, yo, this is beast.
That's so deep.
Whose mind works that way? That's what they thought of.
I saw way funnier stuff than that.
I saw
you
all
remember
the
at the
funnier
end,
things.
the end of the Titanic, everyone's just standing around smiling at the camera, and they said this is what they're gonna see tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I don't understand if like you show up, you pay $250,000, and then they're giving you like the intro, and they're like, hey, by the way, this is what it looks like inside the sub, and you see no seats. You see like a toilet that's at the front of the ship that's just like a chemical can or whatever the hell the toilet was. And they're like, yeah, and you're going to spend, 10 hours sitting, crisscross applesauce on your way down to the Titanic. And you're going to be able to see it through a hole about this big. And you're still like, yeah, this is a good use of my $250,000.
Well, yeah, that's another thing that blew my mind. I was like, where's all the fucking windows? Like, I wanted to be able to see
It's a
everything.
submarine, dude.
Oh, yeah, you're down so deep that like they can't have windows like that, right?
Can't
Like
have windows, yeah.
Or at least a bigger frontal one, like, or something. Like, I mean,
I mean, especially with the amount of corners that were apparently being cut. Like I've read so many interviews now of engineers that were like, yeah, they're like, we told that guy his sub was dangerous. And then you get like the CEO himself who died under the sea, who has quotes where he's like, I really feel like safety regulations get in the way of progress when it comes to submersibles.
What a
Yeah,
look at him now.
They mention how dangerous it is when I think it's 3 different times they say you could die. I think you have to sign. Not only that, but they also mentioned that this is one of the worst years to do dives. This is probably the only dive they were going to be able to do this year because the waters were turbulent. It just wasn't a good time to dive. That whole place was a shit show. I saw another video on another dive. They installed a rotor backwards, or one of the thrusters were installed backwards. They went down with the thruster installed backwards the whole time. This is fucking like a shit show.
Well, they also apparently used to have constant communication to the ship instead of the text message system that they were apparently using. But the CEO was annoyed that he kept getting interrupted on his dives and having to respond back to the ship. So they switched to the every 15-minute text communication.
That they have now. God.
Like it's wild the amount of like negligence that was put into this entire tragedy, man. Like it's crazy stuff.
Yeah, like I don't care about the jokes. I think jokes are fine. Like when I don't know, when we're at my grandma's funeral, we're all cracking jokes and laughing and stuff. Like I don't know. I think there's groups of people that deal with things differently. Obviously, I mean, we're not dealing with anybody's death here. It's a bunch of strangers, but
CEO's son went to Blink 180 concert.
Some people see comedy and everything. You know what I mean? So it's like it's whatever. I don't see a problem with that. Especially seeing how negligent that company was. The more you learn about OceanGate, the more there is to make fun of. The one button, the remote control, the wires on the outside. The like Doey said, when they're 8,000, they're how many thousand feet underwater, and they discover one of the propellers is on backwards. They were like, oh, the controls feel a little weird, and then they discover how the guy let a random like on one of their tests, whatever dives, I guess I don't know what the hell you call it. They let a guy, not a submarine pilot, control this thing, and they crashed into the ocean floor. And it's like you hear all this nonsense. There's just more and more and more stuff to like make fun of them. I don't see a problem with that. It really gives me pause how many people are genuinely happy that rich people happen to die. That's the part that I find fucked up. That I'm like this whole like socialist group of people that's like eat the rich and all this stuff. They've gone. I'm not saying everybody, but there's some percentage of that crowd that are genuinely happy that rich people died. They're like, yes, like we need the ocean to eat up more billionaires and shit like. And I'm like, I don't know, that shit is so fucked up to me. Like some guy and his son died in there. Like that's depressing as hell to think about. Like some wife is now less. Some mom is less a husband and a son. Like that's crazy to me that anybody could be happy about that. But
my thing too about it is that why in the hell, when like I get it, they're rich, it's whatever. It doesn't matter if rich or poor, someone could have bought it, but at least they didn't die slow. Like some people are saying, oh, they should have suffered. I'm like, bro, get the hell out of here. Like you're bugging. Like because I guess they employed. That what is it? Employment or implosion. Thank you. It happens so fast that you don't even know. Like it's just you're blinking. It's that quick. To me, I felt bad that if they were down there suffocating for hours, that to me was
when you suffocate is pretty bad.
For hours, right? Like that sucks. Like nobody want to die slow. Like if I want to die quick. I want to die instantly. I don't want to feel no pain, none of that. Like, and did they specify exactly what happened? Like what caused that? Like
they haven't figured it out yet. I don't know if they're going to be able to. They're like an implosion is so violent that like
there's no evidence of anything.
I mean, like there was someone on the news talking about like how they're like, yeah, the body retrieval on this is going to be very difficult. And it's like, yeah, the body retrieval is going to be difficult because their bodies were vaporized, basically. They were pulverized. Plus, there's all kinds of critters in the ocean. Like,
yep.
Who's thinking that they're going to get bodies back?
basically what I heard is that they were so deep that it doesn't just any little mistake turns into a catastrophic mistake at that depth. So I heard that there's nothing you could really do once something like that happens. I heard their windows were made out of, they weren't the grade that you were supposed to go down those depths with. I think they were acrylic or something like that, and that's not what you use at those depths.
The metal they use typically on these submarines are supposed to be titanium. They're like much stronger metal. They used some other
carbon.
Right, they used carbon steel. And not only did they use carbon fiber steel, they used carbon fiber steel that was past its shelf life. So they bought it from, I think, Boeing, the airplane company. Basically, Boeing was like, this is metal we can't use anymore. It does not pass the regulations for what we would put on an airplane. And a submarine is a far more dangerous vessel than an airplane. They bought it from these people and put it on their submersible. So it's like I said, the more you learn about these people, the more you're just like, there's just more shit to make.
They said that front window, they got it from SpongeBob's house. They took it off and put it on there, and
I think the lights in the submarine he bought them from like Camping World
from an RV. Yep,
from like an RV
what
place.
Is this? Like, I don't know, man.
I mean, bro didn't even splurge on the DualShock controller, man. So like, I don't know what we're expecting here.
In that video, he's just like, this is a controller one of your kids would use. He just like throws it on the floor, and I'm like,
controller has some long ass titties on it. I've never seen.
I don't like them tits.
Like, what
I don't
the
like.
fuck?
No offense to the long nipple crowd. Right? I'm a big areola crowd. All right. I have big areolas, so I'm not judging people that happen to have big tits, or big long nipples. But it ain't for me. It ain't my thing.
I got pepperonis.
The national Geo nips. It ain't for me.
What do you got? I know Mateo has.
No, I'm telling you, I got like double pepperoni.
Mateo has pepperoncini.
You ever watch
areolas?
You ever watch what was it, Kung Pao? Remember they make fun of the one Asian guy the whole movie for having massive nipples? That'd be me if I'm walking around. I'd be with my shirt off, So but nobody makes fun of me for it, but they should, because I got big nipples.
Kung Pao's underrated. Kung Fu Hustle is better, but Kung Pao's underrated.
I never watched Kung Fu Hustle. So
Kung Fu Hustle,
really?
But I like Kung Pao. Still waiting on the sequel.
They said it was coming.
The end of the movie, they tell you the sequel's coming.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for our final topic, we're going to do a little bit of roulette of all of our topics that might not make it to the show. Kind of funny.
Well, they're making it to the show right now.
Well, now, but I'm saying as their own, as their own topic. This is just something we're going to spin off quick. Nothing crazy. We're not going to...
But it's going to be on the show right now.
Yes, it's going to be on the show.
The first thing I want to talk about, and I wanted to bring it up, but I said I'll save it for now.
Oh,
your shirt. It's a new report. I've never seen you wear anything.
Oh yeah, this is a new report.
Tony's shirt broke my brain when he first turned on his camera. I didn't know what was happening.
This is floral. Little Nike,
nice.
Nike shirt.
Floral with black is interesting though. I feel like floral is usually like bright colors is like the background. With the black it's interesting.
Yeah,
it gives me like mariachi vibes or something.
Yeah. These Nike knows who it's marketing to. They know that they can't put too much color because then the ghetto people won't buy it. But they're like, if you use black as like a
What are you talking about? Ghetto people love bright colors.
Yeah, you're right. The bright oranges,
the lime greens, all that.
But I want to stay on this. What kind of hat is this?
Oh, this is just a Guy Harvey hat.
Right, you don't mix wilderness or like
I had it
fishing
on the whole time.
Or I know I watched the whole podcast.
Oh, before the pod. Dick.
Yeah,
like
I know you had it the whole time. I've been here. Yeah, the combo I just found interesting.
No, yeah, I was outside. I just grabbed the first hat off the damn closet and put it on. Went outside. The sun's bright and.
My first observation was this might be the first podcast where none of us are wearing just like a black tee, like a plain black tee,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm still wearing a black t-shirt technically, but so kudos to that.
Got my great game debate.
Yo, very nice.
Didn't even notice. You need to rock the mic on the other side so you can.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning, but I have to reverse my entire setup to do that.
This is also the first time Doe just wears a plain white tee in a long time.
I always wear a plain white
No,
tee.
you always have a Lacoste
So
crocodile somewhere on it.
It's been a few weeks, maybe.
Every
Maybe a few
no,
episodes.
David, you're wrong. Every episode you have a Lacoste crocodile. Everyone. What's the first topic in the mixed bag?
The first topic in the mixed bag is how far is too far when getting revenge?
Yeah, explain
How
this to
far
me.
is
How
too
often-
far?
Tony, when's
Yeah,
the last
sorry.
time you got revenge?
Let's start there, because this was a topic, and I'm like, I don't know if I could. I've never gotten revenge on someone. Like,
Same.
Revenge could be, it doesn't necessarily always have to be negative, right? Or like, you're petty, LaBelle.
there's a positive revenge.
Yeah, of course. It's funny. Funny revenge.
Give me an
like,
example of a positive revenge. I'm curious.
like, for example, when someone attacks you for something, Pucho, and you just say, you know what, I'm going to get my payback the moment you mess up. And what do?
I buy them a gift.
No.
What's the positive?
You find laughter in it yourself. It's a
Oh,
self
oh
thing.
yeah, I'm sure the people getting revenge,
Yeah, yeah.
it's always positive.
It's a
They're always
positive
happy to get revenge. Then okay, positive. I
Oh,
like
that,
it.
For
that's
self
like
things.
that's like one of my nephews. Like he used to like bully his sister, and we would tell her like we're like you are being mean, and be like I'm not being mean. I'm being happy. Because it made him happy to bully his sister, so he felt he was being happy, not mean.
And also, if someone else gets revenge and I think deserved it, I think that would be hilarious, and I would enjoy it as well. Even though it got nothing to do with me, I would find it hilarious.
I think that I don't know
frank.
that I've ever gotten revenge. Maybe in like a prank war or something, right? Like there was we have had some prank wars, and like we've done the classic like glitter on top of fans and things like that. Like I think the worst one that I ever did was we had a buddy that we used to fight about the AC control all the time, right? He wanted it to be 72 degrees in the apartment. I am a polar bear. I wanted it to be 67, 68 degrees. I wanted it as cold as possible, right? But we were always fighting over the AC. So what I did one day is he went out somewhere and I got a bunch of cardboard boxes and I shoved them into his AC vent in his room. Like I took off the vent, I shoved him in there, I taped him up so there was no airflow, and then I put the vent back on. And we did not fight about the AC vent anymore because he wanted it cranked as low as possible because he was like, man, it's so hot in my room now, dude. He's like, it's so hot. I don't know what's going on all the time.
Also, like, it's revenge, right? But it's like prankster. Back in the day when Doe and Jesus came down and we were chilling with another friend named Justin, them boys rode on my car. Thought it was funny to put dicks and shit all over my car. So I beasted. I went up them. I did the whole damn car. Not just the window or two. I did the whole car. The body, the windows, and everything. Doughboy and them came out. Thought that shit was hilarious. I don't think Justin found it hilarious at all. But that's revenge. And no one got hurt. Playful. Like, those are good revenges. Now, have you guys got any serious revenge? Probably not. But, I mean, it was just a topic. Like, is it good? Like, why do people want to seek it?
For me, my pettiness comes from I want people to feel the negativity that they're spreading. So when someone does something to me that I don't like, and they don't care, that makes them happy, I'm happy to do that same thing back to them so that they could better realize that they're pieces of shit.
That's revenge,
typically
too.
what I go for.
Sure.
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
revenge.
I'm explaining. You just asked why.
No, you were saying that you've never done it. And I'm telling you that's
Sure,
revenge.
to me that's not revenge. But now that you've defined revenge as little verbal quips here and there, then sure, I've gotten revenge.
Is
all my
revenge
life.
only death thing to you? What's like? What would you consider revenge? Like someone dying or someone getting hurt?
Someone who did something like really wrong to me, so then I want to do something really wrong to them. It doesn't have to be death.
There's a level of wrong.
It could be maybe like stealing money from them or like something dramatic, like
Like
something
Alexander,
criminal maybe.
like Alexander Dumbass. And
He
it
got
was
big revenge in a variety of ways. There were some murders. There was some thievery. There was just reputational revenge. He did the whole gamut of revenge in that.
Here's another one that Doe posted up.
Hold on. Let me go.
Oh, you want to do it? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Number 168. No, that's 184. Museums. How should they be received? Should they be shitted on for collecting lost heirlooms of forgotten nations? Or should they give everything that they own back to the sovereign nations?
It says sovereign.
Sovereign.
But
Sovereign.
it's an interesting topic.
How should they be received? Is a funny. I don't know why I wrote that. Should
You wrote this? It's
museums?
hilarious. The collecting lost heirlooms of forgotten nations. That's my favorite. Of the forgotten nations, should they give them back to the sovereign? But they've been forgotten. The nations have been forgotten. No.
But like the British Museum has a lot of like African heirlooms and African stuff, and like they've taken a lot of stuff, and these nations want it back. The Africa's like, give us our shit back, and they're like, the British Museum's like, no, this is
Finders keepers.
and they say they'll do a better job preserving it than Africa will. They'll say stuff like that. We've been preserving this for a long time. How do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like museums eventually will become something like people? Is it educational? How do you feel ethically? Is it okay?
Let me ask you that question though. Do you feel like they should give it back?
I feel like certain things, yes.
Why do you
But
reverse the question?
Because if that's the case, then this great country should go back to its original owners too. The people who were the
Well,
first ones here.
That is also an
The
interesting.
Pilgrims?
That is
Pilgrim.
also
said
an
the
interesting
Pilgrims?
conversation, though.
So I'm just mimicking him. He's
Also an interesting conversation, though. I mean, the U.S. just broke a treaty with one of the indigenous tribes recently regarding water rights in like Arizona and things like that. But I don't think that there's a straight comparison between the two discussions.
Yeah, there are practical things and there are impractical things. Like having, like for example, one of the things they have in the British Museum are like these tablets. And there's these I forget what country in Africa, they had their entire history written on these tablets.
Oh, wow.
And now they don't know a portion of their history because Britain literally came in and took their history and put it in their museums. You know what I mean? Like shit like that should obviously be returned. Like to me, that's an absolute no-brainer.
how do you think they go about getting it? Just say fuck, I'm just gonna go invade and grab it and come back. It's all fine and done. I mean,
100%. Like it was just theft during invasions and during like colonialism and during the slave trade and all kinds of things like that.
What's your question?
I'm saying
How did they get it, or how should they get it back? Get it back?
How should they get it back?
Because I'm like, Mateo's not advocating for war. He didn't actually.
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, I didn't
understand. He's like, yeah, them Africans should just go and invade Britain and just take all their shit. Nah.
Why?
No, like I feel like, again, like I was saying before the pod, actually. We live in a globalist world. Everything's interconnected. All these other countries, like you said, oh, the U.S. shouldn't be dipping their fingers in other people's shit. Nah, other powerful countries should tell other powerful countries, you suck at this one thing. You should try to fix that. You should go fix that problem and punish them for not doing it. Absolutely. Why the fuck not? As for giving our country back to Native Americans, it's not very practical.
It's not practical now. It's a little too far gone, but.
Now we want to talk about like reparations for indigenous people and for black people and things like that. I think that's an easier conversation. I'm curious to see how the California thing's going to play out with reparations.
What do you mean for black people? Like the ones who got here and got used and abused?
Yeah,
Like
The
people that are
400
ancestors.
years of slavery.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that are ancestors of slaves. Like,
yeah, what happened? Pooji thought I was about to say something crazy.
What happened to black people? It's like, you never heard of slavery? It's just a funny ass.
I was just
question
trying to I was just trying to be a little bit more specific. Like, what does it mean? Like giving them a whole bunch of land? Like, where were we gonna go with that? But
reparations for indigenous people, I think, is a way easier sell than for black people. Black people is way more complicated because it's like all the indigenous people, for the most part, unless like you got indigenous people that came from like Mexico or South America and things like that, most of the vast majority of the indigenous people in this country came from indigenous people that were here and got their land stolen and stuff like that. When it comes to black people, it's like there's a large percentage of black people that are descendants of slavery. obviously those people should get reparations. But what about like there's like a bunch of black immigrants, like people that came from Jamaica or black people from Dominican Republic or
I don't think
Haiti. Or it's like, do you give them reparations?
No.
Like, probably not. But then it's like,
maybe
what if they lived under racist laws? Then it's like, do they get right? It's like it's a far more complicated situation. So like, everybody who's been wronged deserves to be righted. I 100% agree with that. How practical or how to go about it, I think with the indigenous people, it's a simpler transaction, I think. But
didn't they give indigenous people like they have casinos?
They have land, like they have their own land that they can run and things like that.
Seminole tribe?
How did they get into the casino game? Because that's like, isn't that a big thing?
Because
it's their land. They have sovereign rights over their own land. They like there's police forces that are like it's a whole thing. They have like basically their almost like their own like mini government inside of their like their reservation land. They're
really we're in a Christian country like originally, right? And gambling is just not good, which is why gambling isn't allowed in a lot of places. But because in these areas where indigenous land, they have their rights, they could say gambling's allowed here. And so then, boom, you get a casino. It's the only casino in the area. It's going to blow up. So it's like that's sort of how a lot of them ended up in the casino business.
I see.
There's a lot of problems with the way the indigenous land and the support for indigenous people and what America would call reparations, whether that's really like repairing anything, because indigenous people are fucked on a lot of ways educationally. Like a lot of them are alcoholics. Like they're like there's a lot of like domestic violence. There's a lot of problems in the indigenous communities that it seems a lot of it has to do with the fact that like all these countries have destroyed their cultures, like, and it's stuff you see that so a lot of this stuff's consistent, like in America, in Canada, right? Even though we have no relations to those people, they have a lot of the same problems because they did a lot of the same things. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a lot better efforts into making their lives better. But
yeah, absolutely.
Museums should give shit back.
Yes.
Also, another one here. Would you want to date someone famous or someone who is not? Well, we all date someone who's not famous, right? But I'm saying, so I guess the better question is, would you date someone that's famous?
Are they rich?
It seems stressful.
Famous
it seems so stressful to date someone famous. There's got to be like a limit in my mind. Like, yeah, maybe locally famous, you're recognized around town, but I don't want to be in like tabloids or talked about in like.
Yeah, we're not talking about local famous people. We're talking about actual like people around the states know who the hell.
Tony's talking about, do you want to be at your local Walmart and be on the magazine stand every day because you're dating Angelina Jolie? You know?
I don't think I want to. I think I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm straight off that shit.
It sounds kind of miserable. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you just want to have an off day where you're just chilling and shit. Look at his boyfriend is such a hot mess. You're like, all these tabloids are picking you up now. You're like, what did I do? I'm just existing here.
Could you imagine Doughboy trying to ride his bike down the streets of New York and all they do is jump in front of him trying to take pictures?
I'd actually like that. Hey.
Don't worry, now he likes it.
Hey.
I got one.
I bet it's cool for like a day, and then you get like that picture of you like eating sad on the bench, like it's like what was that, Val Kilmer or any of the celebrities they've caught in like candid pictures eating all sad.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves had the sad Keanu thing. Like, you get like that unflattering picture you posted over all the magazines. You're like, you know what, this sucks. I don't want to be famous anymore.
I got one. Somebody, not me, okay, I didn't do this, but somebody put, we should have 2 Thanksgivings a year. Kind of want turkey and stuffing.
Yo, facts. Yo, there should be second Thanksgiving around now, or in spring or something like that. Second Thanksgiving, vote for Doey. I'll bring it. I'll make that shit happen. All
Dude,
right?
you could start your own Thanksgiving if you wanted.
Yeah.
You can start your own second Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah. Mid-year thanks.
It'll be the real Thanksgiving, the better Thanksgiving.
Facts. Because you don't have to see any of your family.
We don't have to watch the Cowboys lose.
We don't have to anything to do with the Pilgrims screwing over the Native Americans.
Mhm.
We don't-
It doesn't have any historical connotation. We can celebrate, especially on that day. We can celebrate how Dennis Rodman is with the Asians. Okay, and how did that happen? How did he get in with the Asians like that? Okay. He got Kim Jong-un on the hotline, bro. He could hit him up anytime. What up, Kim?
I would word that as he's with the North Koreans.
All right.
I feel like there's a better way to word that.
Pretty sure China loves him as well. All right. Pretty sure he's been to China. China.
Here's another one that I put. Should people date outside of their social status? Meaning,
What does that even mean?
Meaning, like, should I date a lawyer chick, or should I date a doctor, or should a doctor date a band player?
This is that weird one where you were like saying, "Oh, doctors only date doctors and lawyers only date lawyers."
People usually date within their circle range. Like,
I'm like, that's not my experience.
I think a lot of that is just because people tend to date like within their friend networks and their acquaintances and things like that, and similar professions tend to hang out with people at work, and then they become your real life friends, and then that's how your social circle grows and things like that.
I would say
most of your friends are like.
I don't know if it's a conscious thing or not though. Like but I also don't know a lot of like doctor buddies to ask. I know a lot of my nurse friends tend to date other people in the medical field because they usually have terrible, weird schedules, and other medical people understand they have weird schedules, and they're also on that same weird schedule as them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, especially like to become a doctor is hard. Like it's miserable for the
You don't
first
have a life.
several years.
Yeah, it is doing residency, trying to have a relationship where two professionals are trying to get their career going is rough. I've seen some crazy long distance relationships. It's wild. I think wait. I think first of all, you could definitely date outside that's for sure. It depends.
No, David, you've only ever dated doormen or porters or.
They're all that's male dominated industry. But I do think you just have to have some sort of game or swagger, or you got to be able to chat them up in the way they want to be chatted. I don't think they're your.
I don't think you're gonna chat up a nuclear scientist though.
I think you can, and I think sometimes they might be easier to bag.
I think the vast majority of people date outside of their occupation. I don't know why that's even like a comparison. No, I don't know any. I can't even think of anybody right now that are like two doctors dating. Like I could or two whatever, two porters. I can't think of anybody. Whether dating outside of your social status, though, that's much harder.
Let's separate this because you're mixing a lot of shit.
You're telling me there's like a
here.
woman, but I'm talking. You're telling me there's a woman making $140K and they're gonna date the cashier at your local Target? Like that's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell. Like I'm sorry, societally, that's just not how. Culturally, that's just not how we're built. Like unfortunately, the way things are in this country. Not even unfortunately, everybody's just gonna date around their level. That's really gonna be
their money.
I think women care about that more than men, though.
Like
personally,
you gotta separate.
Sure.
Middle
I'd
class.
date the chick that works at McDonald's.
High
you know what I
class.
mean? Even though I make more than her a year.
You gotta separate.
I don't think most dudes would. I think most dudes would fuck the chick at McDonald's, but I don't think most dudes like. I think in general, people just date around their level. I think if you looked at somebody that makes way less than you and you're busting your ass trying to pay bills and stuff like that, you're going to resent that person that's just sort of like coasting. You know what I mean?
So then it's better to say upper class will not date anybody from a lower class.
I'm not going to say
Very
that they
rare.
will not. Of course it happens. I'm saying in general, people date at their level. When those things do happen, they're outliers. Like there are people that are totally fine being the sole breadwinner while their woman never works a job. Like that's fine. But
I think your looks, how charming you are, have a lot to do with it. Like you how you present yourself.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean?
dating. There's a superficial element to dating.
No, for sure. But I'm saying if you're a really good looking guy, then yes, I think you could date, especially you could be working, you know what I mean? I think you could do that.
I
just
don't even
because
think that's true.
based
There's
off
a bunch of
looks.
ugly dudes with some hot chicks.
that sure, but
And
there's
the
other
beauty
reasons.
is in the eye
There's
of the
other
beholder,
reasons
too.
why,
Yeah.
right? Though he's saying that the looks help if you're lame, if you
If you're a
aren't
lame-o.
doing well in life. We've all known people that broke as a joke living off their girlfriend's wallet, right?
Yeah.
Like it happens both ways. It's just not that common. I think most people tend to date around their level. That woman's wallet that they're living off, it's usually though around their level anyways. There's another kind of broke person regardless. Like I don't know. I've just never seen like some dude couch surfing just playing video games with his like lawyer wife or something. You know, I've never seen it, but
Could happen.
I'm sure it has happened.
Stay
but
home,
yeah,
Dad.
like to Pooch's point, like
It ain't
I don't know
normal.
that dude.
Yeah. Here's one that Doe put on. Can being cocky be considered little dick energy or playing it cool? The way to do it.
I
Well,
think
let's
for the
do
most
it-
part, if you're being cocky, doing is some little dick energy.
Let's talk about
You can
little
be
dick
cocky
energy,
and fucking-
period. What are examples of little dick energy?
Cockiness.
Yeah, Pucho
Cocky.
pulls up in a BMW, maybe 3 years old. I'd be like, yo, I got that 2023. Or, pretty example, I got a 77-inch TV. Massive.
I
in
have
my
never,
living room.
Wouldn't-
I have
wouldn't that
never
be called
used my
bragging?
77-inch TV to shit on
I
your
know, but
lesser
that's still
TVs.
cocky.
I would say that like I usually associate little dick energy with like driving like a big old like lifted truck and whatnot.
That's a very good example of little
If you
dick.
got balls on the back of your truck, that's like
That's
a little
fucking
dick energy
hilarious.
trying to portray big dick energy, but that's a little dick.
the balls
What is
dick
little dick
back.
energy? I don't know. It's like ultimately we're just saying like insecure dudes, like dudes that are trying their hardest to be bigger than they really are.
Napoleon
socially.
Dynamite complex type shit.
Not physical cocks. Although some of those insecurities come from their physical cock.
I'm not
No
gonna lie,
facts.
Pooch.
When you see a guy with 250, like what the
Two
50
deep
cal
Desert Eagles,
Magnum?
250
yeah,
caliber.
like 2 Desert Eagles. You might be like, "Are you compensating, sir? What do you, you know? I don't know."
Somebody told me I walked in the bar the other day with a tree trunk. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm talking about.
It made me
I
feel
told
good.
you, bro,
I'm
your
not gonna
pants be
lie.
too tight. Though. I told you your pants were too tight. A tree trunk, though, that's a compliment.
I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Was that a woman?
No.
You would only wish. Only a dude would
Yeah,
say
I
some
know.
crazy shit
I
like
know.
That's crazy.
Is it a gay dude?
Yeah.
Damn, you should just hook up on him just for the sake of it.
No thanks.
Just to use the tree
But
trunk
I'll-
energy.
I'll take the compliment all day. I'll take that compliment and I'll let it. It'll shoot me to the roof. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joey
Some-
wrote that compliment down in his journal, and he goes and looks at it sometimes. Like
Yeah.
that was a good day.
I was like,
Ron
that's
Burgundy.
good.
I wrote it in my journal.
Yep.
On June 24th, he said I walked in with tree trunk in my legs. You know.
That's oh, here's another one. Would you guys go to a barbershop or a salon where they only do your private areas, your like
Yes.
regions that are not seen by many?
I wish my barber offered these services.
Would you?
Sorry, you wish your barber no longer cut your head, but only serviced your crotch.
Well, this would be a
Well,
second
well,
bar.
There'll
to
be a
this would be
second part.
like
Yeah,
a-
let's not be
Yeah,
so.
it's like, okay, second
Well,
barber.
this is an absurd
love-
question. Who, as an employee, who does this? They only service the nether realm.
I
Do
mean,
you-
European Wax Center does it?
They do
You don't
it
think
now.
they wax your chest or your back?
Oh, yeah,
they
they
must
all-
wax
that's
your
your
other
body, right?
places.
Is
I
that
would
your-
assume.
that's
I would
your
assume
body?
they do other body
I don't
too.
think anybody. I don't think any man has gone in there to get his balls and dick Braziled.
I'm
well,
sorry.
they,
I don't think-
100%
I don't
they
think-
absolutely have.
You think so?
For sure.
Have you ever met
100%.
gay men?
Oh, shit.
Have you ever met any gay man
100%.
ever?
Not like that.
Have you ever seen a porno?
Not
Look at
looking
those
at it.
dudes that have no hair on their
That's
entire
called
body.
nair. That's called nair. Them boys trim
No,
down
that-
and
How
rub
do you
nair
know
all
that
on their
they're
shit.
only doing nair?
I'm just
Where
guessing at
this
this
is
point. I'm guessing
guy
at this
was-
That was a
point.
very confident guess.
Nair.
It's called nair. It's
Oh,
nair.
nair would be
I'm
the
just
thing to
guessing.
use.
I'm just guessing.
Nair would be the thing they use. It takes off all your hair once you trimmed it down to a
I don't
certain
know if I
level.
want to put hair on
I
your
think-
nair on your dick. It's
I
a
think-
it's chemically
People
removing
put icing
hair.
hot on their dick. What's the point?
No,
What are you
where-
gonna
where-
stop
I think-
with it?
Who-
Not you.
I
I said
mean,
people have.
That's an accusation, sir.
Whoa.
I think we're lost in the sauce. The important question here is: are they doing it just in the little chair in front of everyone, the big windows there, and they're trimming your nether region, or do they have like a little booth?
put a
inside?
coat around
Could
need a
you
booth.
imagine the
We
barbershop
need a
talk?
booth.
They're like, Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. You know, it's just like regular barbershop talk.
That would be fucking
Man.
incredible.
I was bagging this chick and I fucked the shit out of it. He just there trimming
Yeah,
your
just-
balls. Like, it's crazy.
Some dudes are like, yeah, just like he's like powdering them up, powdering them up. Yo, cause them rips, they'll leave you feeling a little raw, maybe, you know.
God forbid you rip ass while he's down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's
I
he was
got
freezing a
one,
little
ladies
bit
and gentlemen. Why do we have so many technical difficulties?
I have no idea.
What
feel
even
like
happened? Did you bump your mic, you think?
I have no idea. I have to look at
didn't-
the video because I was
It
just
didn't- I
sitting
didn't see
there.
it.
Did you
I didn't see him
update your...
bump the mic or anything.
All I know is I saw you cock your leg up, and I just got excited, and I was
He kicked cables underneath his shit.
I was all over the place, thinking about like just being hoisted up in a barber chair upside down, and then this nigga's just like scraping the
No,
hair off your legs.
You might be in that same chair that the ladies are in when they're getting checked and stuff and they have their legs clamped
Yeah, the
up.
the
OBGYN. Yeah,
OBGYN. That's nuts.
yeah.
But-
Do you think there's good access to the gooch when you go?
Oh, yeah.
Facts. That shit's
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Oh, dude, 100%. The barber says that's nuts when you put your.
Get the bush.
If they don't say that's nuts, you gotta scoot lower. You gotta keep scooting lower.
They use scotch tape to tape your nuts up so that you can get the whole area.
Nah, that's crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
If your hair is thinning down there, they do that that paint.
the pintura.
Beijing. They hit you with the Beijing.
They hit you with the tip.
That's the worst. If you stuck with us through this entire episode, hit that share, like, and subscribe button. Leave a comment. And, hey, let us know if you're willing to go get a barbershop and get your shit trimmed up like that. You never know. You might like it. And as always, go one up yourself. Peace.
Dick all up in your barber's face.
The weird part is you catch an erection. You'd be like, whoa, what the fuck?
All right.
Oh, man.
would be the
Doe would be the one to catch an erection.
No, it'd be you, Tony. Nobody thought of an erection till you.
was God.